Good morning, students. Good morning, students and parents. First of all, we will move with the today's class with the Gayatri mantra. Fold your hands and close your eyes. Om Bhur Bhuva Swaha Tat Saviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Na Prachodaya. Om Bhurbhuva Swaha Tatsavituर्वरेण्यं Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Na Prachodaya. Om Bhurbhuva Swaha Tatsavituर्वरेण्यं Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Na Prachodaya. Dhiyo Yo Na Prachodaya. So, good morning again to all of you. So, welcome students, a class from home. So, welcome parents, how you all are. I hope that you all are fine at your places. Today, we are passing from a critical time. We are facing the disaster, such type of that today we are helpless. Still, the world do not have the vaccine for the coronavirus. And the main thing is that we have to isolate ourselves from others by keeping the social distancing. Whatever the our government is passing the orders, we have to obey them. We have to sanitize ourselves. We have to sanitizer from others. Sanitizer is a word that we have to isolate ourselves from the others. And this quarantine word, first it was came into existence in the 14th century when there was a plague in the South Africa in the 14th century. Lakhs of people were died, and quarantine is a period of 40 days. And then there is another word. At that time, tetra time was also used, and tetra time is a word, and this period was of 30 days. So, dear parents, dear students, now we are at home. We can do lot of at our home. We can think of the newly ideas. We can help the government, the charity, in the PM Relief Fund. We can help the people who are marginalized to the weaker sections so that they may get some motivated from our people. So we should not be afraid of this coronavirus. But the main thing is that we have to take some precautions. We have to wash our hands. We should not take our dirty hands towards our face. We should not touch the soft parts of our face. So today, it is a time to innovate the new ideas for you. You can help the central government by giving some innovative ideas how we can take care of ourselves and of our nation at this critical position. So, dear parents, DPS is organizing, I think this is the first school in the Sirsa district which is going the online and offline classes, and we are providing the lot of materials in the form of videos, notes, and dear students, I will tell you that we have given you the link of extra marks. It is really a beneficial for you people if you download the extra marks and you see the contents, the smartboard which is running in our classes, all the contents we are also having the same as the extra marks is providing. So please go through the extra marks, and we are providing the notes with lot of efforts. We are making the notes for you. Even preparing a one chapter, it take 4 to 5 days. So as we are putting our efforts, we are arranging the all resources. So I request the parents and the students to cooperate with us, and so that in time we can complete our syllabus, we can complete our academic session. In the end, if we are completing the syllabus in time, we will be having the lot of time for the revision. So stay at home, be safe, enjoy your time, help the parents in doing the household chores. You can learn lot of things from your parents, from your mom, from your dad. So now I am moving towards the academic session of our class, Political Science plus 2 Humanities. I would like to welcome you all, parents as well as teachers, to the online classes that the DPS management is providing, and the teachers are working really hard to be in front of you. So, we are starting our first chapter of the political science, chapter number 1, the Cold War era. So, students, I had provided you the notes. So, I think you have taken your notes and you have studied. So, we are starting with the chapter, the Cold War era. The Cold War era. Actually, the Cold War era, it was an era of the contemporary period. Contemporary period starts from 1914 to till now, the time of the live classes. This period is known as a contemporary world. And in contemporary world, why we called it a contemporary world? Because the events that have occurred in this period, we have all the material, the events that occurred in form of photographies, documentaries, as well as newspapers and different books written by the scholars or the historians. So this period is known as a contemporary. So there was a two main events that shook the world. That was the First World War that was started in 1914 to 1918, in which there were the alliances, allied powers. For example, allied members were England, France, USSR, USA, and the other side, the Axis power were Germany, Austria, and Germany and Austria were defeated. Turkey was defeated, and great sanctions were put on these countries. Germany power was destroyed, and the second instance that we see, the second event of the contemporary world is, that is the Second World War. which starts from 1939 to 1945. And you have seen and you have known, you have studied in the small classes that Second World War ended with the atomic bombs like Fat Man, Little Boy. They destroyed two great cities of Japan, Nagasaki and Hiroshima. It was a great loss of the property as well as the human lives. So, before starting the Cold War era, we have to understand the two words. The two words means the capitalism and the communism. What is meant by the capitalism? Capitalism is the process or the economy which is controlled by the individuals. In the capitalism, every person can keep its own property, starts its own business, can create its own institutions, build up the industries. And we see the world was divided into two power blocks, USSR, USA and USSR, United States of America, and Union of Soviet State Socialist Republic, USSR. So, America followed the path of capitalism, and there were two party system in the America, in the USA. Democratic system, the representatives were chosen by the people, and in the USSR there was the system of communism. Communism means it was the system under the state government. Whatever the country had the resources, it were owned by the Soviet government. It was all there was under the Soviet government. So, in the Second World War, these two superpowers, you can say, USA and USSR, these both were, they both fought Second World War together in the form of Allied powers. But after the Second World War, they both wanted to become a superpower. They wanted their hegemony. They divided the world into two parts. One part was capitalism, and the second part was communalism. Communist form of governments were formed. Form of governments were formed. And this communist idea was given by the German philosopher Karl Marx and his friend Frederick Engels. Frederick Engels. They have written in their book, in the Das Kapital, that to bring the society in an egalitarian form, to build the equality in the system, we have to bring the communism philosophy. Means we have to throw out the industrialists, the rich persons, the powerful persons, and the power should be given to the labor class. Actual, the earning comes from the labor class, but their profit is divided between their profit goes in the pockets of rich persons, industrialists, and they do not care. Industrialists do not care about the labor class. So, this ideology or these ideologies divided the world into two parts. Alliances were made. They wanted to make themselves powerful by making the alliances with smaller countries. So now we will start. What is the Cold War? What is the Cold War. Here I have written some questions related to the chapter that what is the Cold War? Cold War, it was the diplomatic war fought with, it was not fought with the weapons, it was fought with the military alliances. They were trying to make them superpowers, they were creating to make themselves superpowers, they were fighting with the speeches, they were fighting with the paper cannons, they were fighting with the speeches. It was not a hot war, you can say. It was an indirect war. It was a indirect war that is known as a Cold War. Just they try to make the alliances, and with the alliances, the small countries, they were afraid of these two powers, and they have to join one or the other group. And this policy is known as to move under the big country or under the shadow of a big country. This policy is known as a bandwagon policy. So the Cold War was started after the Second World War when the Japan surrendered in the North and South Korea. In North Korea and South Korea, Japan surrendered in North Korea in front of the USSR, and in South Korea in front of the USA. And they both wanted to capture the Korea. So in North Korea, communist form of government was formed, and in the South Korea, capitalism ideology prevailed. So this was the in this way the contentions, the conflicts, the disputes occurred wherever there was a tension in the world. They spotted the opponent's countries, and sometimes it was thought that now the time has come that the Third World War will start. But there was a policy, there was a word, deterrence. Nobody wanted to initiate the war because they knew if Third World War start, it will be difficult to survive the even human race. So both favored the policy of deterrence. They contented themselves from the Third World War. Now, I had defined you what is the meaning of capitalism and communalism. Then, what are the causes of origin? Why the Cold War occurred? What were the reasons behind it? Why the Cold War occurred? First, as I have told you, that the causes, number one cause, I had given you in the notes also, and in our books also, if you study there, the first is the ideological divide. Ideological divide. Ideological divide means, as earlier as I had told you, the difference, your thinking, or the difference between the capitalist and the communalism and making the alliances. This is known as a ideological divide. Second one is Truman Doctrine. Truman Doctrine. Truman was the president of the America. He brought the doctrine of containment. Containment. Containment is a word. He wanted to stop the proliferation or the spread of the communist governments in the Europe. This policy of containment is known as a Truman Doctrine. Second, the third cause is Fulton speech. Fulton. Fulton is a place in Missouri in USA, United States of America. The Prime Minister Winston Churchill of England, he has given the speech in Fulton. He said that half of the Europe is divided between the East Europe and the West Europe. And West Europe is having the impact of the capitalism, and East Europe is having the effect of the communist form of governments. Now, in Second World War also Germany was divided, and its capital was also divided. Berlin, the capital of Germany is Berlin. Berlin was also divided. In Fulton, Winston Churchill had said that Iron Curtain, Iron Curtain has descended, had divided the Europe into two parts. By these speeches, by the doctrine of Truman, by the speeches of the Winston Churchill in Fulton, these speeches made the USSR furious. And this was the fourth reason to go for the Cold War. The next was the Marshall Plan. Marshall Plan. It was started by the Secretary of the State of the USA, G. Marshall. Now, I wanted to tell you what was the Marshall Plan. In the First World War and the Second World War, European countries were weakened. Their economy was weakened because they have fought the two wars, and their economic crises were there. And after the Second World War, America, who was a capitalist country, under the Marshall Plan, they supported the countries of the Europe whose economy was in crisis or debt. Now, this made USSR also to go to those countries, to the countries of the Europe, to help them with other plans. He also wanted to make or strengthen the economy of the European countries, and they both USA and USSR wanted to make the alliances. They wanted to become a superpower. The next origin of cause of the Cold War is Molotov Plan. Molotov Plan. The premier of the USSR. He started giving money to the countries which were just near to him. He wanted in those countries communist form of government should be established. And these Marshall Plan and these Molotov giving help to the Eastern countries, they made these countries furious, and they started the military alliances, making the they went in the race of the armament. Atom bombs were made, nuclear bombs were made, hydrogen bombs were made, ballistic missiles were made. They both wanted to be the superpower. They wanted to be the superpower. The next is the formation of military blocks. The formation of the military blocks. Now, the USA and USSR in different time periods in 1949, USA has made the alliances with the European countries. He made an alliance known as the NATO, North Atlantic Treaty Organization, and with the Central Asian countries, it was known as a Baghdad Pact or a CENTO. And after that, the USSR also moved forward to make the alliance. In 1955, he made a treaty with the six countries of the Europe known as the Warsaw Pact in 1955. So, dear students, I hope the connectivity is good. I hope from last 2 nights I was unable to sleep because thank God that we are having a good connectivity and you people are listening to me. And I was really afraid that what will happen tomorrow. So hum see beta how much efforts we are putting to bring the classes at your home, and we are running, and DPS management has taken an initiative, and we all team are working. Management and teachers are from working last 10 days on this project to start the classes on 1st April. So again, I want to recapitulate whatever now we have studied in just 2 3 minutes are left with me. So I will go with the Hindi for the students who are unable to understand, but you should try to understand and learn and write. Try to learn uh, these notes in your notebooks. So in just 2 minutes are pending. So I am telling you the recapitulation of this chapter that प्रथम विश्व युद्ध और द्वितीय विश्व युद्ध के बाद एक समय आया जिसको कोल्ड वॉर ईरा कहा गया, शीत युद्ध का समय जो है वो कहा गया। इसके अंदर क्या था कि दो विचारधाराएं थी। विचारधारा कौन सी? पूंजीवादी और साम्यवादी। पूंजीवादी मीन्स द कैपिटलिज्म एंड कम्युनिज्म मीन्स साम्यवादी। पूंजीवादी में स्टेट कोई भी इंटरफेयर नहीं करती। आप अपनी संपत्ति बना के रख सकते हैं, आप बिजनेस कर सकते हैं, आप अपने इंडस्ट्री खोल सकते हैं, आप कुछ भी कर सकते हैं। लेकिन कम्युनिज्म में समाजवाद या साम्यवाद समाज को बराबर लाने के लिए जो है ताकत, अब हम देखते हैं यूएसएसआर और चाइना के अंदर एक ही पार्टी सिस्टम है, तो वहां पे लोकतंत्र नहीं है, डेमोक्रेसी नहीं है, वहां पे साम्यवाद है। साम्यवाद की जो मजदूर वर्ग है, जो काम करने वाले हैं, जिनकी जेब में फायदा नहीं जाता है काम करने के बावजूद, ठीक है, तो वो फायदा जो है उन लोगों को दिया जाए, उन लोगों की सरकार बनाई जाए। और कोल्ड वार जो है वो कोल्ड वो इसलिए कहा गया शीत क्योंकि वो ठंडा था, वो गर्म नहीं था। वो प्रत्यक्ष रूप से नहीं लड़ा गया, वो अप्रत्यक्ष रूप से लड़ा गया, बातों के द्वारा लड़ा गया, स्पीचेस के द्वारा लड़ा गया, भाषणों के द्वारा लड़ा गया, पेपर कैनन्स के द्वारा लड़ा गया, क्योंकि इनको मालूम था यूएसए और यूएसएसआर अगर हम सीधा लड़े तो अगर तीसरा विश्व युद्ध होता है तो दुनिया खतरे में पड़ जाएगी। तो कई ऐसे कारण थे, जैसे कि मैंने अभी आपको बताया कि ट्रूमैन का सिद्धांत, मार्शल प्लान, मोलोटोव, मिलिट्री अलायंसेस बनाए गए, नाटो, सिटो, सेंटो नाम के, अपने आप को मजबूत बनाने के लिए, अपने आप को सुपर पावर दिखाने के लिए। तो स्टूडेंट्स, नाउ थैंक यू फॉर ज्वाइनिंग मी। हमारी तरह आप भी मेहनत करते रहिए। जस्ट फ्यू सेकंड्स आर रिमेनिंग, सो आई एम गोइंग just now ending our this topic just here. So thank you and have a nice day.